Hi, this is Ameila and Elizabeth, and we are here with Steve from Exodus. Thank you for having this interview with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here with you.
We saw you at Hellfest.
Oh, you did? What year?
Yeah, 2018. 2018.
Yeah. It's just, I know. It's just, it seems like so long since that was a gig ago. I mean, it's been really 20 months since Exodus has actually played a show. We played last weekend in Illinois, and we played a couple of weeks ago in Las Vegas. So we have played a couple of times, but not on tour yet. Soon.
How about the shows that you did play?
Good to be back, and the crowd was glad to have us. I don't know if you guys saw last week in Illinois. It was all over the internet. We had a golf cart circle pit for our show. There was like 7 golf carts in the pit. It was funny.
Oh my god. I have to look up that footage and check it out. That sounds awesome.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's everywhere. You could see it everywhere. It was kind of funny because Gary and I egged them on to go into the pit because sitting around the outside, people had rented these golf carts to travel around. It was kind of an outdoor festival. And I said, well, get them in there. So they got them in. Go watch it on video. It's hilarious. It looked like a Thunderdome. People are hanging off of them, you know. I mean, typical metalhead. It's great.
Now you need to start a golf cart festival where it's everyone in golf carts just for like the circle pits.
Yeah, but think about that. I mean, we were lucky enough to not get anybody run over. Come on, we know the metalheads eventually. So I was hoping we would get a wall of death out of it. You know, we would do a wall of death with the golf carts, but then I probably would have got food.
Yeah, you probably would. Yeah, but that wouldn't end well. You have a new album coming out, so what can fans expect?
Pure mayhem, violence, destruction. Typical what you expect from Exodus. I mean, it's I think it's our best record to date. As we've gotten older, we've definitely gotten more better in our craft, and I think as musicians, our musicianship shows really hard on this record. I guess you have. But you've heard the 2 singles. There are 2 singles out right now.
Yeah, I heard them last night. They were good.
Typical Exodus thrash, young lady. Typical Exodus thrash.
And what was your writing and recording process on this album?
Yeah, actually, we went up to the mountains of California, and we basically lived in a really, really nice house. Our drummer lives in the mountains in Northern California. We thought it would be we did it during the height of COVID. It was probably, it was being written from May to July, and then it got recorded August, September, and October of last year. So we couldn't really go out and play concerts anyway, so it worked out for us. And we just went up there, the 5 of us with an engineer, and built a recording studio in Tom's Man Cave, so to call it, and that's where we did it. So we really didn't have to, we didn't have to compete with any other bands or anything. It was when we felt like whatever we wanted to do, vocals, guitars, drums, or bass, whatever, then that's what we did. So we weren't on a time restraint either. It wasn't like, okay, you guys have 6 weeks, you got to get in there, because I've been, we've had 6 weeks to record and completely finish a record before, but this time we were afforded the luxury of time.
Oh yeah, I saw that you went up to a cabin in the woods. It looks like really cool how they redid it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it was comfortable, we didn't have any distractions of the city. There's no traffic. There were no wives, no children, no animals, no nothing. There was just the 5 of us up there writing and recording the record, which to me, if you want to be a band, the word is band, that is the perfect way of a band. Everybody goes up there and records the record together. And you usually get the best stuff that way. I know that it works for us because in the 80s it used to be that way. We were young and, we recorded all together, and those were the greatest albums. That's why I think this album was so great. I think we all put our hands in the fire. And it wasn't like 5 individual efforts, because it's easy to record that way now. Technology allows you to do that. Yeah. We went old school on this one. We
What was it like working with Steve Nagudi?
He's a good guy. Steve's very knowledgeable when it comes to knowing, how to get this and that out of the board. Everything is recorded on Pro Tools now. So he's worked with many, many great bands. He's done Exodus Sound live. He actually does all of Machine Head Sound live. So just a good guy to work with. Wanted to come in and do the project.
How did you come up with your album cover, and is there any meaning behind it?
The guy who did the record cover, his name's Par Olafson, and he's done Exodus's albums in the past. And I don't know if there's any meaning to them. I just look at it and go, God, look at all that fucking carnage that's going on there. There's just tons of cool, sick shit that you could just, lay on your bed and listen to the record and stare at, because to me, that's what it. When I was a kid, I would buy the record, go in my room, put it on my record player, and just lay on my bed and read everything on the album and look at the album while I was listening to the music. And I think this record cover brings you back to that, because there's a lot of sick shit going on.
Yeah, it's a really cool cover. We really like it.
My favorite one so far out of them all, and the last one was my favorite up to then. I hated in the 80s and early 90s, they used to put us on the album cover, and I always hated that. I was like, I don't want to be on the album cover. Make a fucking sick-ass picture. Why do we have to be on the album covers? Now I like it. It looks really cool. It will make for a great t-shirt.
Former guitarist Rick was on the record, so do you think he'll any future records, or was it just a one-off?
You can never say. When we get in the studio, we'll look at it. It was fun to have him on to come in. I think it adds a little bit of flair to the record, because people are big Rick fans, so it was cool to have him on the record. Cregan as well. They both actually played on the same song. The guy who was playing guitar for Gary while Gary was on tour with Slayer, so we could still tour. His fill-in guitar player also played on the record.
And now we'll ask you our signature question. So if you could have any band play one of your songs, which band would it be? Which song would it be? And would it be in your style or their style?
Could it be any era of band? Say like there's a band that might not be around anymore. Could it be that band?
Yeah, it could.
Okay. All right. So it would be definitely be Bon Scott era AC/DC, and I would have them play the Toxic Waltz the way they would do it, not the way Exodus does.
That would be cool. AC/DC are awesome. We love them.
Yeah, I do a tribute of AC/DC here. Actually, Will Carroll from Death Angel plays drums in it, and I only do the Bon Scott era of AC/DC. I've done it for about 11 years now, when I'm not on tour with Exodus. Like Friday night, I play in San Francisco with my AC/DC cheerleading band.
Oh, that's really cool. What's your favorite memory of watching someone else perform live? Can you tell us a story?
Favorite story of watching someone else live? My first concert ever was I was 13 years old, and I went and saw Kiss. It was the day Elvis died in San Francisco. And I remember going to the show, and I'd never seen anything like that before. And here you got a concert where this guy's just blowing fire, and this guy's on a riser that goes up to the top of this guy's doing this. He puts the guitar on a line, and his fucking guitar shoots up, and explodes. And it was just, that was the first time, that hooked me. As soon as I saw that, I knew this is what I wanted to do. So that's why, of all memories, I have many. I remember AC/DC playing an outdoor concert in 1979, and it was when Angus and Bon used to go into the crowd, and Bon would be on Angus's shoulders, and I remember they passed by me, and my partners were like patting them on the back, and I thought that was cool too. So I've been doing this for so long that I have so many memories, but I always remember the Kiss one because that's the first one.
Yeah, that's cool. They are amazing live. I saw them on the Japan leg.
Yeah, they're just, the show is just, we've been fortunate enough to play on festivals with Kiss many times, so if I'm on the festival, I always watch them. And we were in Spain on 2018 on that Hellfest tour. The last show was in Spain, and we were playing right after Kiss. So if you know how the festival set up, one stage may be facing another stage, and it was on that festival. We just stood on the stage waiting to play for Kiss. They were right across from us. It was cool, and as soon as they ended, it was about 2 minutes later, and then we start. You know how the festivals are; the stages go constantly. So, but I love watching Kiss. What a great show!
Yeah, definitely. What's your favorite memory on the road? Can you tell us a story?
I can tell you many stories. Well, I was just talking to Tom Hunting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a Tom Hunting story. Back in the 80s, there was obviously no cell phones, and so we were on tour with MOD, and we stopped at a hamburger place in America called Roy Rogers. And usually everybody would get out and go call their girlfriend and go call home because, it's a long bus ride. Some people would go eat. Now, the road manager's job is to count every person that got off the bus once it gets back on, because if you get rolling, there's a good potential that you left somebody there. The term for that is being called oil spotted. If you get left at a truck stop or somewhere, you have been oil spotted. So we're on the... everybody gets up, they get on the bus, and the bus rolls down. I mean, we're going down like 5 hours. We're watching a movie, and some people are in the back, and everybody's all, "Hey, man, does anybody talk to Tom?" And his drum tech goes, "Yeah, he's still sleeping in his bunk." And I'm all, "We've been on the road a long time. You better go check." So they go back, and he's not in his bunk. He's not on the bus. He was left at the Roy Rogers 5.5 hours. We had to cancel the show that night because he was so far away. It wasn't the times like now. If you were on the bus, you could call somebody's cell phone, go, "Hey, you fucking left me there. Come back and get me." But that was the days. So we got there, and when we called our management, he had already called their management. He called his girlfriend. He was stuck at Roy Rogers, and so they had to get him in a car to like an airport to get on like a tiny prop plane to get him to where we were. And this was like 88 or 89, but that's a clean road story. That's a pretty clean one. That kind of mayhem happening.
That's a story. I'm sure he loves to tell it.
We talk about that all the time to this day. It's like, now when people get off the bus, they're like, and it's funny, "Hey, man, I'm going on to go to the bathroom. I'm going to get, don't fucking Roy Rogers me." Turned into a, and everybody knows what that means. What do you think Roy Rogers about? Tom got fucking left at a Roy Rogers in 1988. We've never heard the end of it. You know what I mean? So.
And talking about Elvis before, have you ever been to Graceland?
No, I've never been to Graceland. I played Memphis before, but I've never actually been to Graceland. That would be kind of fun, though, I guess.
Yeah. I think, are you being sarcastic or serious?
No, I'm being serious. That would be fun.
I thought you were like, "Nah, I've never been to Graceland," but you actually.
No, I've been to Memphis, but I've never been to Graceland. Memphis is a big city, but I've never. I've played in Memphis, so a lot of times I don't have time to leave, the venue to go to do things like that. So I don't remember having time in Memphis. But I mean, I go to all that kind of stuff. I go to Country Music Hall of Fame, and I would go to any of that, anything that has anything that connection to music. I would go to, or sports. I've been to all the Hall of Fames, Hockey Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame. I go to all that stuff if I'm off. It's something to see at least once, right?
Yeah, definitely. Talking about hockey, it has to be one of my favorite sports to watch live.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
NHL?
I get into it. I'm one of those people who's yelling, like, "No."
That's a hockey fan should do, scream and yell.
Yeah.
What, do you follow an NHL team? Do you have a hockey preference?
No, I went to a few for the first time. And then I was like, "This is awesome." And now it's just like, I kind of watch them here and there, but I really need to get into it. So.
It's definitely a very active, brutal sport. And if you can get seats right on the glass, those are the best seats to watch a hockey game from. I love hockey.
Yeah, definitely. What team do you go for?
Calgary Flames.
Nice. Who do you go for in NFL?
I was a Raider fan for my whole life, but they moved to Las Vegas from Oakland.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not happy about that. Yep, and they moved, and so the Raiders went to Vegas, and so I don't watch football anymore, so I don't care. Football was yesterday, and I knew I'd get on my Harley and nobody'd be on the streets, on the road, so I took a ride yesterday.
Oh, nice. And last question, is there anything else you would like to say to your fans?
Aussie, 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 oi, 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 Aussie, Aussie. I love to do that. I fucking do. Isn't that funny? Caught you off guard there. I want to thank them for being so passionate. The Australian fans are great. I do a webcast show on YouTube called Detro's Toxic Vault, and I get so many fans from Australia that are always like, come over to Australia, mate. And I'm like, yeah, well, we would love to. I think it's been since 2015 Soundwave Festival was the last time we were in Australia, so it's been a while. So I am looking forward to coming over.
We'll probably see you somewhere in Europe, because we'll definitely be there next year.
We'll be there for 7 weeks next summer, I already saw. So I know through June or July and August, Exodus will be in Europe.
Are you on Hellfest again?
I haven't seen that, but because our record is coming out here next month, I was told there's a good chance we will be. So
okay.
I would count on.
Have you seen the lineup?
I have not, but they add bands constantly.
Yeah,
They'll
okay.
add bands
So
right
as of now, it is a 7-day festival. They've changed it to a 7-day festival, and there are 350 bands on it.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It'd be wild.
If you can name a band,
basically what they're doing
on it.
Oh, well, I love it. I'll be there. I'm sure I'll be, if it's 350 bands. Because when I was talking to Tom today, he said something about Hellfest. And I go, next year? And he says, Hellfest. And I go, oh, maybe we're on that. Because I know that we will be in Europe for 7 weeks. And we are on, looks like we're on every fucking festival over there next year. So let's hope so.
Fingers crossed, because we'll be there, so.
Well, cool. Good. You got to look me up. I've been in the crowd. I walked around. When I love Hellfest. I love the way it's laid out. So I go watch the bands from standing out in the crowd. I was standing in the crowd watching Iron Maiden. People are coming up to me. What are you doing here? I'm like, watching Iron Maiden. I love Iron Maiden. So like, no, I can stand on stage. It's a mess, and I'm good friends with their stage manager. I can if I want.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm going to stick in the crowd. I want to watch the show like everybody else does.
Yeah, definitely. It was so nice to talk to you today. We will see you somewhere on the road. Thank you.
All right, ladies. You guys be good, all right?
Yeah, you too.
Stay settled. Stay
All
well,
right.
and I will talk to you soon.
Have a
Okay?
good night.
You too. Bye now.
Bye.